What's up? My name is Lord Tomahawk D, and today we're going to be making a song for the Warhammer 40k character Angron. So let's jump right into it. So I basically start off the song with a chord progression. The chord progression is on distorted guitars, and it's a chord progression that I lifted from a Veil of Maya song. It starts out as basically a major 7 chord, then each note sort of modulates to a different chord until it eventually cycles back onto itself. And there are no additional effects processed on that. Basically, my setup is guitar straight into Line 6 Pod HD, straight into audio interface, straight into Cubase. So in that same chord progression, I'm taking that and I'm playing it on 3 separate guitars. Each guitar is playing only one string of the chord. Instead of playing it on distorted guitar, I'm playing it on a clean guitar, and I have one string pan to the left, one string pan to the right, and the other string in the center. And so here's a listen to that as well. As you can tell, it's the exact same chord progression. And so for each of those guitars, I simply added a delay. So I have a short delay, I have a long delay, I put a reverb on here, and I also EQ'd it in order to take out some things. This just makes it have more of a twangy sound so that it kind of sounds like it's really distant and far away, because that's just kind of the mood I'm going for. And so here's the sounds with the effects back on. Yeah, that's basically all the clean guitars. So let's go into the distorted rhythm guitars. So there's basically 2 sets of distorted guitars. There's the chorus, and then there's sort of a verse. The chorus is kind of like a just big trudging chord chug nonsense. I kind of wanted it to sound like Angron was at the peak of the build up from his butcher's nails, and he is coming in to basically stomp the shit out of you. He's just on his way right now. And that's basically what I was going for with this particular chord progression. Well, this particular riff. And then there is the so-called verse riff. And this one, I was kind of trying to invoke a little bit of the Meshuggah style that just has a bunch of like, where you can tell that there's a lot going on. There's a lot of like scratches and like different noises that happen. But the core of the riff is just this heavy rhythm that kind of locks in with the drums. And we'll go over the drums later, but this is just those guitars. And then I have like a little bit of a transition rider riff right here. Just a bunch of chugs. Then there is one other clean guitar part right here. And that basically is just the first chord of the song, but it's arpeggiated instead of playing it just strummed. Or I guess fingerstyle or hybrid picking style, whatever you want to call that. So that's just a clean guitar, but it has basically just has a reverb on it, no delays. I had them at first, but then I just turned them off. It just kind of distracted from what was going on. And that's basically all the guitars. Okay, so then we have the bass sound. Now the bass follows the guitars for the most part. This part right here that just follow is just like it's just a note. It's just a note. And then we have distorted bass. for the chorus, and like I said, it just basically just follows the main guitar for this part. And just like with my guitar, my bass is just played through my Pod HD as well. So nothing really special going on here. As a matter of fact, this distortion is being added by the Pod HD. If I look at the effects for the bass guitar, that's not where the effects for the bass guitar are. If I look for the effects for the bass guitar, just a compressor. So just a compressor on this. And the verse riff for the bass, it just sounds like a bunch of noise because of the way the riff works, but it really meshes with the regular guitars, so it kind of works. Yep, so just a bunch of clangly noise, but like I said, it works. Then we got the same rider for this. There is one part of the bass that kind of deviates from the guitar, and that is the intro. It's tapped, so that sounds like this. So yeah, I'm basically trying to like really hammer home that chord progression is like the kind of meat and potatoes of the song. So the drums, honestly, they're kind of just standard drums until you get to the verse. We have kind of like a snare hi hat kind of pattern here to like sort of work with the buildup of all of the different chords. And I'm using Easy Drummer for my drum sounds, but I'm not using any special presets. I'm just using the Metal Machine. Yeah, it's just it's nothing special. It's really basic, and I'm using like a lot of just standard rhythms, but I'm kind of changing it where I need to in order for it to basically do the things that I need it to do. Then we go into sort of this standard up down kind of rock groove. Yeah, so there's really nothing too special about that. Then it goes to our chorus riff, which is kind of just our rock groove again, but it's in halftime this time, so it sounds even heavier. But it's even more basic. Then there's a little fill here, and it goes right into the first real like metal drum part in the song, where it kind of like here's some double kicks, and here's like some fancier cymbal work, but here it is right here. And this was a different groove, but I kind of changed where the kicks and the snares hit so that it would match the guitars and bass rhythm a little bit better. And then there's this fill right here, just like a basic floor time fill to kind of lead us back into the chorus. But that's pretty much the only thing here that is. Those are basically the only things that happen with the drums. So, and I can go through all the effects with the drums, but that'd be a lot of things because these are all processed separately. And I feel like that's something I can go over in another video. So let me know if you want to know that. So if you want to figure out how do I get this sort of processing on my drums, just let me know and I can go over that. But yeah, that's pretty much all of there is for this song. So I'll go ahead and just let you listen to it.